What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Shifted Perspective YouTube channel. My name is Brandon, and I know I'm tardy on this video, but I wanted to give you guys an update on my spacers that I installed on my E92 M3. I never actually covered it in a video. When I did the ceramic brake pads, I also swapped out the spacers in the front for the 18mm Future Classic brand, which are a little more pricey than the other ones, but we'll go into that in just a second here. So I never kind of give you guys a comprehensive review or really touched on it really at all. So I wanted to do that really quick, just spend a minute or two just talking through that with you guys. Essentially, for some reason, the E90 platforms seem to be very sensitive to adding spacers to the wheels. I've had a handful of other cars that I put spacers on, and I never really had an issue, but it seems like in the community that it's a normal thing. Just the way that these cars are set up, they're much more likely to have a little steering wheel feedback if you add spacers. That just seems to be sort of the consensus that I understand. I could be wrong, but I've had two different sets of spacers. I've had ECS, and I've also had Turner, and they both had steering wheel feedback at about 75 or so on the highway, and a lot of other guys say the same thing. So the Future Classic brand is very high end. I believe they're around $100. I'll put a link in the description. I swapped out the front for the 18mm from Future Classic. What makes them a little bit different is they actually include the hub bolts that seat the spacers to the hub itself. And after I installed that, I've driven around many miles, hundreds of miles. Night and day difference, guys. I want to say make sure obviously your tires are balanced and you have an alignment, all that other stuff is sorted out. I have the regular comp wheels, newer tires, Pilot Super Sports, and I put the 18mm spacers. Perfect. I absolutely don't regret buying these things. I know they're like $100 instead of a normal set is like $50. But if you're getting steering wheel feedback, the car just feels horrible. So I wanted to let you guys know that I definitely recommend it. And I was actually messaging with these guys after the fact because they saw my post on Instagram. So I wanted to definitely give these guys, I don't know, a tip of my hat or whatever you want to say, and definitely recommend swapping yours out. Side note is I was talking to my buddy Adam, who also has a white E92, similar setup, but he swapped these things out and he's actually still getting some steering wheel feedback. So obviously there's a handful of variables involved, but if you have the car aligned and most of the things are set up properly, I was actually really happy. You want to have a cool stance, you want to have that flush wheel with the fender look, which I think is perfect. OEM Plus, as you guys know, definitely recommend it. So links are in the description for this thing. Not a sponsor, no commission, nothing at all, but I would definitely buy these again. If you guys are wondering, I do have the 12 or 12.5mm, something like that, in the rear, which is pushing it. Because I did wider tires, I did 275s instead of 265s, so that is a little bit, on the cusp. I would say maybe go 10 rear, 15 front, or you could do 18 front if you really want to have it like right on the brink. I have had my tire touch the fender liner on the other side, depending on your driving habits. Not tracking the car, I'm a big baby, so for me, it's like normal driving and then some spirited driving. So there's no reason that I've had any issues. I've had this car for over 2 years now. Haven't had any issues. And yeah, so spacers are a win. Feel free to comment below if I missed anything, but definitely recommend these guys. Really easy change to your car, and especially with the spacers, people, at car shows or whatever, they're like, man, is your car have spacers or is it lowered or whatever? My car's on stock competition height, but it looks lower and it looks more aggressive just because of the spacers, and you have the splitters and a couple other things. Like, it really doesn't take a lot of money or time to set the car up. Obviously you can go more aggressive, but this is kind of what I like for now. So with that said, before I drone on for like 15 minutes, that is my comprehensive review of the original Future Classic spacers. Link in description. See you guys next time.